Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 30th of Jan 2024. And to be honest guys, the price of Bitcoin in the global cryptocurrency market has marginally pumped up, and right now the price of Bitcoin is at $43,373. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens on the 31st of this month, because that news guys, to be honest, will drastically impact the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market. Now look guys, I have this very strong feeling a lot of the market manipulators are intentionally trying to pump the price of Bitcoin, and once the announcement is made, they'll definitely go ahead and dump a lot of the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Those are my honest thoughts, to be honest. So I think we definitely need to be aware of what is going on at a macro level as well. Now in today's episode guys, we have some update regarding Ethereum Spot ETF. Now look guys, ever since BlackRock got into the spot Bitcoin ETF game, everyone became experts in spot ETF. And because of that guys, the price of Bitcoin was almost doubled, isn't it? Now the next move guys is regarding Ethereum Spot ETF, and there is some update, and looks like the next date that we need to be looking at is the 23rd of May 2024. So I'll definitely go and discuss why that news is important. And look guys, when the official announcement was made by the US Security and Exchange Commission regarding an approval of Bitcoin Spot ETF products, the price of Ethereum was the one which actually picked up pace, because people are under the anticipation that an Ethereum Spot ETF will most likely be approved. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And guys, since the last few days, I'm covering news regarding NFT marketplaces, and we have some update regarding Magic Eden, and they are going ahead and launching a multi-chain wallet, and looks like they're releasing this wallet with the help of Exodus wallet service provider. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. And guys, listen, I've always said this, when it comes to Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, all price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time, isn't it? And in today's episode, we'll definitely go and discuss one prediction, and this is by Anthony Scaramucci, and he has given a really random prediction of the price of Bitcoin to cross the $150,000 mark. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. Now look guys, in 2024, there is US election kicking in. As a matter of fact guys, this might be the very first time in history where over 2 billion people will be going ahead and registering votes all across the world. There is election taking place in Pakistan, there is election taking place in India, there is election taking place in US, and I believe this year there are over 40 countries where there are elections taking place. Now the news that I'm going to be talking about has to do with central bank digital currency, and possibly one of the US presidential candidate, that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now he used to be a Democrat, but right now I think he's an independent. Now he has put out a video on his Twitter account. I'll definitely go ahead and recommend you to check it out, where he's actually saying no to CBDCs. At the same time, he's a massive advocate of Bitcoin, and he's saying that in relation to Bitcoin, and he's comparing it with fiat currency as well. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, I'm going to be discussing 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys that I'm going to be talking about is to do with artificial intelligence, and right now in Dubai, there is a massive event taking place, that is Arab Health 2024, and looks like artificial intelligence is one of the key factors. So what I'm going to be talking about is how Dubai Health Authority is using artificial intelligence to detect health risks and cut treatment costs. So I'll definitely go ahead and explore that news. And look guys, unlike cryptocurrency and blockchain protocol, when it comes to artificial intelligence, I'm definitely seeing actual use case. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. And the second news guys has nothing to do with cryptocurrency or blockchain as such, but it is an event that I'm conducting on the 28th of February, called as How to Start Your Podcasting. Now look guys, podcasting era is definitely kicked off post-pandemic, isn't it? And I've been releasing Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcasts every day from Monday and Thursday. So what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and share my experience on how you can go ahead and start your podcast. So in today's episode, I'll very briefly go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect at that session. Now look guys, if you want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, so let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now as of today guys, on the 30th of Jan, the global cryptocurrency market cap is at $1.67 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.39%. Now listen guys, on the 31st, Jerome Powell will be announcing the interest rate hike, and I wouldn't be surprised based on that news, the global cryptocurrency market will drastically be shifted. Now listen guys, he'll be announcing the interest rate hike on 31st of Jan, but in Dubai or in the Middle East, most likely we'll be getting access to that information on the 1st of February. So what I'm going to be doing is on the episode that will release on the 1st of Feb, I'll go ahead and cover what Jerome Powell has done and what is the decision that he has taken regarding the interest rate hike and how does that impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So please make sure that you check out the episode on the 1st of February 2024. Now going back to the global cryptocurrency market volume guys, the total cryptocurrency market volume in the last 24 hours is $56.21 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 44.42%. If you look at the volume in DeFi guys, it is well below the $5 billion mark at $4.77 billion, and DeFi is accounting for 8.48% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And if you look at the total value locked guys, it is pretty much the same at $57.93 billion, and Lido still dominating so far as total value locked is concerned at $21.86 billion, and decentralized to centralized exchange dominance guys is at 14.88%. Now look guys, I'm really curious to check when the decentralized to centralized exchange is consistent. Now look guys, I'm really curious to check when we see a benchmark of decentralized to centralized exchange remaining at let's say 25%, because that would give us an idea if the world is heading towards decentralization. Ideally guys, the number of decentralized to centralized exchange should be over 40%, but let's say if you were to keep it as a benchmark, I'm definitely looking at 25%. Let me know what your thoughts are. Now let me very quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchange, and Uniswap's volume guys is below the $1 billion mark. It is at $915.86 billion. I really am curious to check how this number reacts most likely on 31st, because I'm pretty much sure guys, based on the announcement by Jerome Powell, the volume in Uniswap most likely could even cross the $2 billion mark. Now PancakeSwap is at number 2nd and its volume is $383.14 million. Orca guys is at number 3rd and its volume is $336.04 million. Radium is at number 4th at $253.81 million, and finally Core Finance at $197.41 million. Now let me very quickly run through the volume of stablecoins, because since the last 24 hours guys, the volume of stablecoins has marginally increased, but definitely not increased by a massive margin. As of today, it is at $51.17 billion, and stablecoins guys is accounting for 91.03% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of this $51.17 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for $40.59 billion, Circle USDC at $5.31 billion, and finally TUSD at $96.30 million only. Now guys, let me very quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now just since the last 1 week guys, the dominance of Bitcoin is on an uptrend, and as of now it is at 51.12%, whereas Ethereum's dominance has actually gone down and it is at 16.70%. And if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin guys, it is at $849 billion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is $226 billion. If you look at the 24-hour trading volume, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is almost 3 times of that of Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume for today, and Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $23.9 billion, and I wouldn't be surprised in the next few hours it would actually cross the $24 billion mark, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is at $9.67 billion. Now guys, in today's episode, let me very quickly run through the NFT marketplace, and what I'm going to be looking at is the market share of what these NFT marketplaces hold. Now the reason why I wanted to cover this, guys, because in my episode that I released yesterday, I did talk about OpenSea that was open to acquisition, isn't it? And in the episode that I released on the 29th of Jan, I very specifically mentioned that OpenSea was one of the dominant players in the NFT marketplace, but if you look at its market share right now, from 90% it has gone down to 12.65%. So the number one so far as market share of NFT marketplace is concerned is Blur, and they account for 62.44% of the entire market share. Blur aggregator, guys, is at number 2nd at 18.39%, and finally OpenSea, as I mentioned, at 12.65%. The number 4th is Gem, and the market share is only 3.93%, and finally at number 5, X2Y2 at 1.50%. Now look guys, any top performing protocols or projects in the cryptocurrency world has a very high chance of going completely belly up. No one in the right mind would have said that OpenSea is open to acquisition. That does not mean that OpenSea is doing bad, but the fact that they are open to acquisition does mean that they're currently struggling with that numbers, isn't it? So definitely not ideal, but look guys, this is unfortunately the crazy world of cryptocurrency, isn't it? Now guys, before we look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, let me go ahead and actually explain what is Blur. And roughly around 6 months ago, I did actually cover Blur, but this time what I'm going to do is I'll give out some more bits and pieces of information regarding Blur. Because look guys, Blur is an NFT marketplace and aggregator built on Ethereum blockchain, and they also have a token called as Blur, and Blur is the native token of the Blur platform, and the platform, guys, distinguishes itself by offering advanced features tailored for both professional NFT traders and newcomers as well. So let me go ahead and highlight some of the key points so far as Blur platform is concerned, because they have NFT trading tools, guys, and Blur provides professional traders with tools like fastest NFT sweeps, real-time price feeds, and a sorting function based on price, and it connects various marketplaces including OpenSea and looks rare as well. And so far as portfolio management on Blur platform is concerned, traders can manage their digital assets effectively through Blur's portfolio tab, which offers information about rarity, value, profit and loss, and many other details as well. And they also support royalties, and Blur, guys, supports NFT creator royalties, incentivizing creators by providing extra Blur tokens to those who pay royalties. And notably, guys, collections that block sales on other platform can still collect full royalty fees on Blur. Now so far as the token is concerned, guys, let me briefly run through the distribution of it, because Blur conducted a series of airdrops to distribute Blur tokens, and these airdrops, known as care packages, had 4 tiers of rarity. So that was essentially divided by users who actively participated in beta testing, traded activity, and those who also placed bids on Blur received these airdrops. And these airdrops, guys, to be honest, was a significant event, causing a surge in Blur's price, but it did experience a substantial fluctuation as recipients sold their tokens, and that is what usually happens when the price pumps up, isn't it? Now so far as the founders and developers are concerned, guys, they follow the ethos of Satoshi Nakamoto, and they are pseudonymous, with Pac-Man being recognized as a Web3 developer, and also Zeneca, who is the founder of Zen Academy and the 333 Club, and they serve as the director of the Blur Foundation. And the team, guys, claim they have experience from reputable institutions like MIT, Citadel, Twitch, Brex, Square, and even Y Combinator. Now so far as the network and security is concerned, Blur operates as an ERC20 token on Ethereum blockchain. And as we know, guys, the Ethereum network transitioned to proof of stake after the merge event in 2022, isn't it? And because of that, Blur leverages proof of stake consensus mechanism for security. And proof of gas, as we know, involves validating staking 32 Ethereum to participate in confirming transactions and validating the blockchain, isn't it? And this same mechanism, guys, enhances security and efficiency for the Blur platform as well. Now so far as the token supply is concerned, as of now there are 360 Blur tokens in circulation, with the maximum supply capped at $3 billion, and the distribution, guys, is part of the platform strategy to incentivize users and contributors. And so far as investor support is concerned, Blur did receive support from notable investors and traders, including Paradigm 6529, Kozomo Medici, DHoff, and others. And the platform did raise $14 million in the funding. So essentially, guys, in summary, Blur aims to provide a comprehensive NFT trading experience with features catering to the needs of professional traders while also supporting creators through its unique approach to royalties, and the platform's governance is facilitated through Blur Token, and its security is ensured through Ethereum's proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. Now look, guys, so far as NFT marketplace is concerned, they're definitely kicking some asses in it. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin, guys, is $43,373, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.98%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 11.20%. The look, guys, could it be possible that after the announcement of Jerome Powell regarding the interest rate hike, the prices of Bitcoin would actually go down? I definitely do think so. Now, considering the fact that the prices have gone up since the last few days, I do have this very strong feeling that Bitcoin whales, they want to go ahead and pump up the price of Bitcoin, and after the announcement by Jerome Powell is made, they will go ahead and take out the profit. Those are my honest thoughts. Now, so far as the price of Ethereum is concerned, that is up by 2.23% since the last 24 hours as well. And as of today, it is at $2,306, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.77%. Binance BNB coin, guys, is at $308, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.55%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.95%. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, how the market reacts. So what I'd really recommend you to do is please make sure that you check out my episode that will release on the 1st of February, because that is when I'll be able to give out more information regarding the FOMC meeting. Now, guys, let's get started by talking about Ethereum Spot ETF. Now look, guys, because a spot Bitcoin ETF is approved, there is a very high chance that an Ethereum Spot ETF will be approved as well. But what happened, guys, on 24th of January, the US Security and Exchange Commission extended the deadline for deciding on BlackRock's proposed ETF, citing the need for additional review time, and the final decision on BlackRock's ETF, with a deadline of August 7th, is anticipated by Bloomberg's ETF analyst called as Eric Balkanis. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, make sure you follow him on Twitter or X, because he constantly provides information regarding ETF. And what he has actually mentioned in the tweet, guys, is that the SEC has also delayed its decision on Grayscale Investment Spot Ethereum ETF, and they're also inviting public comments and initiating proceedings to evaluate NYSE Arca's proposal to list and trade Grayscale Ethereum Trust shares. And look, guys, this move extends the decision deadline by an additional 35 days upon the publication in the Federal Register. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, make sure you follow two people on Twitter or on X. One is Eric Balkanis, who I just mentioned earlier, and the other one is James Seffart, who's also an analyst working for Bloomberg. So it looks like they're constantly providing information, and to be honest, guys, most of the information that they actually put out does seem to be legitimate and spot on as well. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding an NFT marketplace, that is Magic Eden, and they have introduced a multi-chain wallet that now supports Solana, Bitcoin, Polygon, and Ethereum blockchain as well. And guys, the platform initially released the beta version of this wallet back in November of 2023, but they were limited to a select group of early testers. Now, so far as the official release is concerned, most likely they are hinting that Friday could be the date when the wallet would be released. And guys, the wallet is designed in collaboration with Exodus to provide a seamless and user-friendly experience, and it facilitates quick cross-chain swaps, efficient NFT portfolio management, and direct trading on NFTs directly with the wallet. So look, guys, this is a brilliant move, because when you talk about user experience, it does make it so much easier for traders, isn't it? So definitely a brilliant move. Now, guys, let's discuss some price prediction. And Anthony Saramosi, the founder of Skybridge Capital, is actually predicting that Bitcoin to hit at least $170,000 post-halving. Now listen, guys, all price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, in the show notes below, there is an article which is published by CoinDesk, and they've gone ahead and given reasoning as to why he's made prediction. And to be honest, guys, there is no legitimacy to what he's saying. All he's saying is that historically, whenever there is a halving, the price actually jumps up 4 times than what the current price is. So right now the price is hovering around the $40,000 mark, and because of that he's indicating that the price would be around the $170,000 mark. Now look, guys, to be completely honest, I don't think so that is a possibility. Those are my honest thoughts. I do feel that the price of Bitcoin would actually go down, but post-halving, it will definitely pump up. But gradually, I do feel that the price of Bitcoin would actually go down. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, and no one knows what the future is, isn't it? Now, you also need to remember that Anthony did invest in BlackRock's Spot Bitcoin ETF as well, and because of that, he does have to go out and put out positive news, particularly so far as the price of Bitcoin is concerned, isn't it? So as long as you're aware of all these factors, then you can go out and make your own decision. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding central bank digital currency. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. are definitely being disliked by Democrats lately, isn't it? And he's actually put out a really excellent tweet via his Twitter or X platform. And there is a video, guys, that he's actually put out. And in that video, guys, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. definitely warns that the introduction of a central bank digital currency, also called a CBDC, could allow governments to monitor all citizen transactions, leading to potential blackmail and coercion. Now, 100% agree to it, guys. And in that video, guys, he's also citing China's digital yuan linked to a social credit system, and he also highlights concerns that government could restrict access to funds based on surveillance posing a threat to human and civil rights. Now, look, guys, we all know what happened in Canada, isn't it? Now, unfortunately, with the left-leaning administration and Joe Biden, I really am not sure, once central bank digital currency kicks in, what the future of financial freedom is. So please feel free to go and check it out. But what I personally like, guys, in that video is that he did highlight some of the benefits of Bitcoin, and what he actually stated is that Bitcoin may offer a hedge against inflation, and he actually makes a really quick comparison with fiat currency as well. So definitely interesting point. Now look, guys, regarding COVID-19, I would definitely recommend you to go and listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s podcast with Joe Rogan. And he's gone ahead and given his elaborate experience in the medical field, going back to a couple of decades as well. So definitely a really much an important podcast to listen to. So it's really great that, he's definitely against central bank digital currency. And look, guys, I've said this thing so many times. Left-leaning administration, left-leaning ideologies, they are definitely not a massive fan of Bitcoin, not a fan of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, not a fan of open source, not a fan of freedom of speech, but they are definitely fan of central bank digital currency because they want government to take full control over your spending and monitor all of your transactions as well. So it's a great thing that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying no to central bank digital currency. So those are some macro level news, guys, on the cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, I'd like to talk about is Arab Health 2024. And there is an article which is actually published that talks about how Dubai Healthcare Authority is using artificial intelligence to detect health risks and cut down treatment costs as well. And the Dubai Health Authority, guys, is focusing on healthcare excellence, which is guided by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. And Sheikh Maktoum, guys, affirms healthcare as a top priority, aiming to make Dubai a premier place to live and work. And Dubai Health Insurance Corporation CEO Saleh Al Asimi highlights the success of Al-Ajada, which is an AI system in identifying diabetes risks. And Ijada AI, guys, uses 360 million patient activities since mid of 2022 to reduce diabetes-related financial burden by roughly around 30%. And the proactive measures based on AI data protect diabetes patients and prevent those at risk from health decline. And health expenditure in Dubai, guys, was 21.4 billion dirhams in 2022, with diabetes treatment alone exceeding 2 billion dirhams. And look, as Ijada AI aims to cut the financial burden for both diabetes treatment and at-risk individuals by 25 to 30%. And Vida bin Brak highlights the role of artificial intelligence in identifying high risk for chronic diseases, moving beyond lifestyle factors in diabetes, COPD and asthma. The initial focus on AI project using various indicators for risk assessment, and the system aims to transition from a volume-based model to a value-based model in healthcare. And the Dubai Health Authority identifies 30 major diseases as priorities until 2025, considering factors like patient numbers and cost burden. And collaborative efforts with expert committees contribute to essential clinical recommendations and KPI guidelines as well. And advanced training programs for healthcare providers and insurance companies cover over 2,000 participants and 3,750 training hours. And Ijada AI, guys, uses rich data from a vast data set covering approximately 4 million insured individuals and 360 million patient activities. Definitely quite a lot of data, isn't it? And look, guys, I do feel that artificial intelligence does have actual use case, but so far as cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is concerned, everything is just in the planning phase, isn't it? So it looks like artificial intelligence is definitely taking leaps and bounds, particularly in comparison to, let's say, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Now, so far as this news is concerned, Ijada AI also provides comprehensive insights for chronic disease at all stages, meeting the needs of diagnosed and undiagnosed patients. And Ijada AI enables early detection and intervention, offering risk scores for undiagnosed individuals and those at high risk, and the system aids in managing disease complications, providing insights and risk scores for improved patient outcomes. And Ijada AI predicts diseases, optimizes resource allocation, and serves as a leading global model, enhancing Dubai's healthcare status. Now look, us in the next few years, we might be having quantum computing as well. And imagine once quantum computing kicks in, the utilization of artificial intelligence, particularly in the medical sector, will definitely be a massive deal, isn't it? And I do feel, guys, with quantum computing and artificial intelligence, even the testing of these trial products will be significantly reduced. Those are my honest thoughts, to be honest. So it's great that Dubai is definitely taking leaps and bounds in the healthcare sector as well. Now, guys, let's discuss second news. And this is more to do with an event that I'm conducting on the 28th of February 2024, called as How to Start Your Own Podcast. And look, guys, if you want to go ahead and sponsor this event, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, let me very briefly go ahead and share what is it that you can go ahead and expect at this session, because the session that you can attend is completely free of cost, and it takes place between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Gulf Standard Time on the 28th of February, and it is an online event to kickstart your podcasting journey for beginners and experienced individuals as well. And I'm going to be sharing insights, tips and tricks for creating engaging content and growing audience, and we'll also go ahead and explore the essentials of podcasting, that is choosing compelling topics, optimal episode duration and frequency of episodes as well. I'll also go ahead and discuss, do you want to do a solo episode, the one that you're listening to right now, or should you be going ahead and doing interviews? And look, guys, based on my experience, doing a solo interview is ridiculously tough. I would say that doing interviews is 90% easier. So in the session that I'm conducting, I'll go ahead and discuss some of the pros and cons of doing a solo podcast or interviews, and we'll also go ahead and explore the recording options. That is, do you actually require a studio, or can you do your podcasting at home? And if you're doing it at home, what are the equipments that are needed? What is the mic that you're needing? And what is the room environment and the settings that are needed as well? And guys, listen, Podcasting 2.0 has kicked off as well. So we'll look at different podcasting platforms. We would also go ahead and look at different podcasting platforms where you can host your podcast. Can you do it on Anchor? Can you do it on Podio? Can you do it on Podbean? And quite a lot of other different platforms, guys. And I'll go ahead and explain what is it that you mean by RSS and what is the role of RSS in podcast distribution. And I'll go ahead and share my experience on how you can amplify your reach through sharing on leading podcasting platforms, and how is it that you can use artificial intelligence website and even different apps. And we'll also go ahead and discuss how you can go ahead and edit your podcast. Now look, guys, editing your podcast is an absolute nightmare. So I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on what softwares you can use to go ahead and edit your podcast. I'll also make a quick comparison, guys, with some of the benefits of having an only audio podcast versus an only video podcast, and what is the consideration you need to have when, let's say, you're having a background for your podcast, the branding, and more importantly, the simplicity when you're doing a video podcast. And we'll also go ahead and discuss the importance of having an introductory music and the length of that music. And I'll also go ahead and share how you expand your presence on social media platforms, that is TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and even Facebook Reels as well. And look, guys, artificial intelligence has kicked off as well, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and share how you can leverage artificial intelligence platforms and applications for content sharing and promotion. And can you create a podcast completely scratch using only artificial intelligence? So essentially, it'll be your voice, but you would not be talking in that podcast. I'll go ahead and share my thoughts. And look, guys, one of the things which I tend to do with a lot of podcasters don't do is I go ahead and create a questionnaire, and I'll go ahead and share at least 7 to 8 questionnaires that I tend to send out. And based on the feedback, guys, that I've received, a lot of them have actually told me that the questionnaire that I sent out does actually show I've done a lot of research. So I'll go ahead and share a specific format that I tend to use and how you can actually go ahead and create your own questionnaire as well. I'll also go ahead and discuss how you can get potential sponsorship. And if you want to go ahead and sponsor this session, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com as well. And I'll also go ahead and share, guys, let's say if you get a sponsor, where do you go ahead and put your sponsorships information? Do you put it at the beginning? Do you put it mid-roll, or do you put it at the end of the episode, or do you need to do it, or does the platform does it for you? So I'll definitely go and explore quite a lot of those things. So those were the news, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, guys, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Clinton who asks, are there any podcasts you would recommend for Web3 space? Now regarding Web3 space, Clinton, I would definitely not recommend to listen to any podcast because there is nothing called as Web 3.0. Now I hate saying this, there is only Bitcoin and then there is shitcoin. Now regarding Web3 space, anyone who's claiming to be an expert, they truly don't understand what they're talking about. But what I'd really recommend you to do is listen to podcasts that are talking about Bitcoin and not necessarily focusing on the price of Bitcoin. The top 3 podcasters that I can clearly recommend is, the number 1 probably would be Unchained Podcast by Laura Shin. The second one clearly is Peter McCormack's What Bitcoin Did. And the third one is Bankless. Now mind you, the first and the third one, that is Unchained and Bankless, they don't necessarily talk about Bitcoin, but they talk about, let's say, Ethereum, they talk about Solana, they talk about the general developments taking place, but they talk more from a technical point of view. So rather than focusing on Web 3.0, rather go and listen to what they have to say regarding blockchain technology, because look, there is so much misleading and incorrect information even in the podcasting space. So these are the 3 ones that I can clearly think about. Now so far as YouTube is concerned, Coin Bureau is definitely one of the great YouTubers. Other than that, the only other person I can think of is, and the host from Crypto RS, he's definitely got a really cool style as well. Both of them I would clearly recommend. But other than that, me personally, I don't like listening to a lot of information. Andreas Antonopoulos is definitely the GOAT, but lately he's not been putting out videos as much as he used to put it back in the days. But some of these old videos are definitely consistent and relevant right now as well. So rather than focusing on Web 3.0, listen to podcasts that focus purely on Bitcoin, not necessarily on the price, but rather focusing on the technology aspect of it. Now mind you, Clinton, what they are saying need not be 100% true, because what you need to understand, they are massive advocates of Bitcoin, and a lot of them are actually connecting and linking points. Most often they are linking unnecessary points as well. The other great podcaster I can think of, and definitely in the top 5, is Dr. Saifuddin Ahmed. He has actually written a couple of books on Bitcoin as well. So his podcast is definitely great. But again, one of the drawbacks of so-called Bitcoin maximalist or Ethereum maximalist or even blockchain or Web3 advocates is they are cherry-picking points and they are connecting to only positive points that they represent. So you definitely need to go out and listen to that. But at the same time, Clinton, I would definitely recommend you to listen to Peter Schiff, who's a massive detractor of Bitcoin, and even Dr. Nouriel Roubini. Now, me personally, I'm a massive fan of Dr. Nouriel Roubini. He completely bashes Bitcoin, completely bashes blockchain technology and even cryptocurrency. And to be honest, 9 out of 10 points that he says, I 100% agree to it. And I've noticed that whenever Dr. Nouriel Roubini is invited for any group chat, it is like a one-man army against all of them. And I noticed each and every person does actually agree to what Dr. Nouriel Roubini is saying. So those are some of the guys, or rather the only people I would recommend to listen to. Other than that, I definitely don't have any recommendations. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And now the series of episodes under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.